Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. You're here with Miss Bianca, and today I have an art video for you. And guess who is the person I'll be drawing today? Yes, Evie from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I love this character. She's on the top of my list for favorite Assassin's Creed characters. And if I guess you haven't guessed, I am a fan of Assassin's Creed. I have been a fan for quite a few years. I didn't start from the beginning, long story about that one, but I did get really hyped for Assassin's Creed 3, and that's when I kind of marathoned all the ones before Assassin's Creed 3. I had like about a couple months till it was coming out, so I just bought all of them and I pretty much rushed through them to get the 3, and ever since then I've been hooked on the entire series. I love the concept, I love all the characters, and especially this one. I love Evie because she's like, I don't know, she's a super strong female and she doesn't take no for an answer. And I kind of like that. She's like, no, 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 Jacob, like, you do your own thing and I'm just gonna go find the piece of Eden because that's totally more important than having like a boys' club in London. So I really quite enjoyed that. Um, so I guess I'll tell the whole long story of how I got into Assassin's Creed. And I heard about it back in CEGEP. So CEGEP is a couple years in between high school and university here in Quebec, and someone had mentioned this crazy idea of not dying in video games, and I thought that was so silly. Like, what? Not dying in video games? What's the point? And yeah, the person said, "Oh, you play as your ancestor, but you can't die. You only get desynced." So that's what kind of turned me off, and I didn't think or hear about Assassin's Creed, and until a couple years later, when anytime the person I was seeing at the time, I'd go over and he'd always be playing it, and I didn't know what it was. But one time I came in and he was beating up the Pope, and I was like, okay, what game are you playing? And he's like, oh, I'm playing like Assassin's Creed, and I was like, oh, I've heard this game before. And it just happened at the same time. The art class I was in, they were the two guys that I usually spoke to were talking about Assassin's Creed, and I was like, okay, guys, lay this out for me. What is this series? And like, oh, okay, Assassin's Creed is coming out in a couple months, and it's about the American Revolution. I was like, oh my god, the American Revolution, that sounds so cool. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh man, they have like so many games, and apparently they're in chronological order. So I was like, oh well, I gotta play the other ones if I want to know what's gonna happen in this one. So I went out, bought all 3, just like pretty much rushed through them. I'll admit that I'm not a fan of Ezio just because, like, he's the typical Italian, and like, I'm Italian, so it's kind of just like being around family for 3 games. So I was like, okay, but I enjoy him as a character. He's not on the top of my list, but he's not at the bottom. Let's just say that. And then I got to 3, like the Revolution. I loved it. I loved Connor. I loved Hatham, especially like that whole family was fantastic. And then a year later, Black Flag came out. So I had just started school. I was working and then I went back to school for video games. So Black Flag came out as I was starting school, and that kind of reinforced my idea of going into video games as a career. And I was playing it and I was like, yeah, this is kind of something I see myself doing. So that really enforced it, and I played the crap out of Black Flag, and then Unity came along, and I know there's a lot of, I guess, backlash or negativity towards Assassin's Creed Unity, but I was lucky. I waited a couple weeks to play it because I was playing Rogue first, because I knew like Rogue came before Unity, or they kind of coincided, and so I played that, and because like I had my Xbox 360, and that was gonna be my last game on the 360 before I got my I played it on my PS4, so because I only have kind of one HDMI slot on my TV, so like I only have one console at a time, so I kind of like put aside my 360 and pulled out my PS4 and then played Unity. So by that time, all the bugs that people said they were having were fixed. So my playthrough of Assassin's Creed Unity was was pretty perfect, and I enjoyed it so much. Oh my gosh, I actually did an art video, not an art video of Assassin's Creed Unity, but like more like an art examination. I'll put the link of it in the description box so you guys can go check it out, because I love that one. Oh my gosh, I just love it for pretty much the visual aesthetic. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the main character, and I'm a fan of a few characters in it, but not just the main character. So sorry, Arno, I'm not a fan of you, but you're not the worst character, so I guess that's a plus. And then the Syndicate came out, and Syndicate was the coolest concept because there was twins. Because, you know, you kind of access the memories through DNA, so technically they kind of have the same DNA, so I thought that was pretty imaginative, and I really enjoyed it. I love Evie more than Jacob, as you can tell, because I'm drawing her and I'm not drawing Jacob. I would have drawn him in the corner, but nah, just Evie. I love her so much. Well, she's younger than me, so I can't say I look up to her as a person, but I do admire her as a person. She's so sweet, and of course, she's badass. She can kick some butt, so don't mess with her. And I kind of like how this picture turned out. I did a grayscale just because, like, you know, the old-timey feel. There you go. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time.